You know, after coming out of this movie, the action wasn't the best part about it. You know what it was? This guy. Yeah. I have something really shameful to admit. I've actually never seen the previous Mad Max movies, and if I did, it was so long ago that I forgot. So I'm going to take a second to pause and let all the fans of this movie series just, quietly have their own little moment of hatred towards me. All right, go ahead. So Fury Road takes place in the same post-apocalyptic Earth as the previous three films did, and Furiosa, played by Charlize Theron, is trying to get this group of women away from the leader of this crazy clan. And Max, played by Tom Hardy, is caught in the middle of it. And like I said in the opening of this video, the action in this is awesome. My God, you thought the Fast and Furious was crazy. Man, this pushed Fast and Furious to shame. 3/4 of this movie is just action scenes. There are very few scenes in this movie where they weren't driving at all. The further you get in the movie, the crazier the action got. And the way that these action scenes were shot, not just by, camera angles and things like that, I really like how there was a dominance of practical effects over visual effects. I mean, there were moments in this movie where they had to have visual effects, and I really like that George Miller decided to go that route. And by shooting it that way, the action and the hits and the car crashes feel so much more real. Let's talk about the actual performance. Tom Hardy in this is really good. And I've been hearing a lot of people say that he filled the shoes of Max very well, but I haven't seen the past movies, so I had to go off of what I got. And the film opens with him and with his voiceover explaining this whole world that you're getting into. And you can see how damaged his character is and how crazy he's gotten. And I thought he did that really well. And because, of course, he doesn't say much in the film, but he's that kind of character that doesn't need to say much. And now I want to talk about Charlize Theron, who I actually think is the hero of this film. They could have just completely taken out the title and just called this movie Fury Road, because the movie really isn't about Max. It really focuses on Charlize Theron's story. And what I liked about her character the most is her motivations. That's one of my biggest gripes about movies nowadays, especially action stars with a female lead. Like, what are their motivations? I'm a guy and I want better developed, stronger female leads, and Charlize Theron in this movie is a really good female lead. She has her own motivations in this movie that drives her character, but bigger picture, she's fighting for a bigger reason than herself. And that's something that not only female characters are missing, but just heroes in general. I want more out of my heroes. I want them to fight for something bigger than themselves. Is that too much to ask for? And now you come to the character who I think is the most interesting character in this movie, with Nicholas Holt as Nux. His character starts off as this mindless throwaway character, and by the end of it, he's this completely different character, and I really thought that was very interesting. And with all the great stuff in this movie with the action and the characters, I do have a couple issues with this film. This movie is a post-apocalyptic world that we're trying to dive into. And the two things that pretty much everybody fights for in this movie is water and fuel. And I would like to see a little bit more conflict for that. There are moments where the characters sit around and talk about like how the world used to be. I would have liked to see a little bit more of that, and it would have dragged me into the world a little bit more. I really like this film, I just didn't love it. If you're a fan of the Mad Max series, you're probably gonna love this movie. I just have this feeling if I was a fan of this series and I had seen the previous movies, I would have rated this movie higher. And regardless of that, this is still a really good movie. It has some really good story arcs, really, really great action. It's probably one of the better action films that I've seen in a very long time. People are saying that you can go into this movie without seeing the previous three, but for me, I would have liked to see the previous three to add a little bit more history to the character of Max. And I'm giving Mad Max Fury Road a high 5. So just really quick, I've made a couple changes to my rating scale. I'm not gonna go ahead and explain it. I trust you guys are smart enough to figure out the changes in my scale. And if you're new to the channel, it really doesn't matter anyways. So, Mad Max Fury Road. Have you seen it? What did you think about it? Leave a comment below, tell me your thoughts. And as always guys, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. And if you like this, you can click right here and see more videos. Bye, Andrew.